Imagine for a moment that one of the biggest banks on Wall Street secretly told its wealthiest clients to dump all their silver immediately. Well, according to the source material we're looking at today, that might be happening right now. We're going to break down an alleged leaked memo from Morgan Stanley that's reportedly sending shockwaves through the financial world. It all comes down to these three little words: exit all positions. According to our source, this is the heart of that leaked memo. And let's be clear, this isn't framed as a friendly suggestion or a tip. It's presented as a direct, urgent order. And this directive allegedly wasn't for just anybody. We're talking about the bank's billion-dollar clients. The source describes this not as just managing risk, but as a full-blown evacuation, what they're calling institutional panic. So why all the fuss over one memo? Well, think about it. When a financial titan like Morgan Stanley, with trillions of dollars in assets, uses language this direct, it suggests they're seeing something on the horizon that the rest of us can't. Something big and potentially catastrophic. The source uses a pretty powerful analogy here. This isn't just a change in strategy. It's being painted as a desperate escape. You've heard the saying about rats fleeing a sinking ship, right? The idea is that the smart money, the insiders, they always know when it's time to get out. This memo is supposedly their signal that they are sprinting for the lifeboats. All right, Wall Street loves to speak in its own kind of code. It's full of jargon and cryptic phrases, so let's put on our translator hats and decode the specific language the source claims is in this memo, because the alleged meaning goes much, much deeper. The memo reportedly talks about structural changes. Now, the source says this is probably the most terrifying phrase in the whole thing. It's like an engineer telling you the bridge you drive over every day has developed deep cracks in its foundation. It means the basic rules of the game, the fundamental way the silver market is supposed to work, is broken. And this next one, this just screams urgency. Let me translate this bit of Wall Street speak for you. It means get out now. Don't worry about getting the absolute best price. Don't wait around trying to squeeze out a few extra pennies. Just sell. The terrifying implication is that whatever price you can get today is going to be a heck of a lot better than the price you'll get tomorrow. But here's the real kicker. This is the part that should make everyone sit up and pay attention. The source claims Morgan Stanley isn't just telling its clients to sell. The bank is supposedly selling its own positions. They're closing their silver trading books and turning away new business. Think about that. When a bank starts willingly walking away from easy profits, it tells you the risk they see is absolutely massive. So what could possibly be so bad that it would trigger a move this drastic? Well, the source material points to a perfect storm. 3 separate, very serious crises in the silver market that are all apparently hitting at the very same time. So what are these 3 horsemen of the silver apocalypse? First, there's a shockingly fast depletion of physical silver inventories. Second, there's a huge spike in demand for that physical silver. And third, a hidden danger that Wall Street is terrified of called counterparty risk. Basically, the fear that the person on the other side of your bet is about to go belly up. Let's dig into each one. First up, inventory depletion. The source tells us that on the COMEX, which is the big casino for trading metals, the amount of actual physical silver ready for delivery has cratered. It's down to just 32 million ounces, a 10-year low. And the really scary part? The source claims this stockpile is vanishing faster and faster. Okay, now for the second crisis, soaring demand. And this is where the math just completely falls apart. If you have potential demand for 120 million ounces of silver, which some estimates are suggesting, how in the world are you supposed to fill those orders when you only have 32 million ounces in the vault? You can't. It's an impossible equation. The third crisis is the one that lurks in the shadows: counterparty risk. It's the fear that a big bank that sold you a promise for silver it doesn't actually have, won't be able to deliver when you ask for it. And this is what causes financial panics. It's a domino effect. If one major player fails to make good on its promise, it can set off a chain reaction that brings the whole system down. By the way, if you're finding this breakdown helpful, please do us a favor and hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. It really helps us keep bringing you this kind of information. Okay, now let's get back to it, because these 3 crises aren't just happening at the same time, they're feeding each other. See, the source claims this isn't just 3 separate problems happening in parallel. No, it's much worse than that. They're locked in what the source calls a doom loop, a vicious, self-reinforcing cycle where each problem makes the others worse, spinning faster and faster until the entire system just snaps. Here's how this doom loop supposedly works. Step 1. The news gets out that inventory is low, which causes panic. That panic leads more people to demand delivery of real physical silver. Step 2, all this demand for delivery forces the short sellers, the big players who bet the price would go down, to rush out and buy physical silver to cover their bets. Step 3, all of their frantic buying drains the already low inventory even faster, which, you guessed it, causes even more panic. The cycle just repeats, faster and faster, until all confidence in paper silver just evaporates. So let's bring this all home. What does this allegedly mean for the markets? And more importantly, what could it mean for you, the investor? Let's get into the supposed consequences and the strategic advice from the source material. The first thing to expect is insane volatility. Picture a packed movie theater, but there's only one tiny exit door. Now, someone yells fire. What happens? Chaos, a stampede. The source warns that as all these huge institutions rush for that one tiny exit, it's going to cause wild, chaotic price swings, both up and down, that could wipe out anyone trading with borrowed money. And this chaos, the source says, will lead to something called the Great Divergence. It's a massive split between the value of paper silver, things like ETFs or futures contracts, and the value of actual physical silver that you can hold in your hand. The claim is that when the panic hits, people will realize those paper promises might not be worth the paper they're printed on. The only thing that will matter is the real metal. So to wrap it all up, the source offers some pretty direct advice. It claims there's a very limited window, maybe only until the end of the month, to act. It suggests you should seriously consider converting any paper silver holdings into physical metal, then hold on to that physical silver through the bumpy ride ahead and keep your eyes glued to those daily COMEX inventory reports. They're like the canary in the coal mine. And all of this leaves us with one giant question. Is this alleged memo a genuine five-alarm fire? Is it a true signal that Wall Street is panicking behind the scenes? Or is this just another false alarm, another case of routine risk management being blown way out of proportion? That right there is the million-dollar question you have to consider.